So I'm Deborah Thompson-Radel, and it is my pleasure to be here with you today. I have to tell you, I'm so excited to be back here in Australia with all of you because I feel like this is my home away from home and my family. And this is an opportunity, as I'm going to teach to you today, to tell you about something different. I'm going to take you to the next level because you see, it's not just about the internet. It's not just about business. It's about a billion-dollar industry called information marketing. And I want to teach this to you because you see, your money is in marketing. You don't have to know technology. You have to know marketing, and this is where you can take it to the next level and make a difference. But first, what's really important to me is I want to build a relationship with you. I think that that is important. That's how we get to know each other. That's how I get to know all of my students. And as such, I'm just going to briefly tell you just a little bit about myself so that you can get to know me. And then from that point forward, it's going to be as mentor to student, so that everything we do is centered around you then, building opportunities for you and taking you to the next level. Does that sound fair? Yeah. Great. So let's get started in this. First of all, who am I? As Armin said, I'm behind the scenes for a lot of the top marketers around the world, and you probably have never heard of me. That's great. That's great because I'm here to tell you that you don't have to be famous. You don't have to be a celebrity. People don't have to know you in order to make a lot of money. Do you guys agree with that? Yes. Excellent. Now, let me just share with you. I was there just like you. 5 years ago, I was sitting at an event just like you are right now. Why? Well, I was being groomed to be president of a company, 3 companies, a civil engineering firm, a construction company, and a computer services company. And as such, my boss would constantly challenge us to take us to the next level in our mindset and get us to think differently. And he gave me a book, and he gave the rest of the partners a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. How many of you know that book? Great. Well, if you've read it, you might have experienced something like I did. I had a paradigm shift. When I read that book, guess what happened? I no longer wanted to work time for money. I didn't care that I was being groomed to be a president of this company. It was their dream. It wasn't my dream. I was set for retirement, but it was their dream. It wasn't my dream. My dream is to teach marketing internationally and make a positive difference in the lives of people around the world so that they can go teach others and they can pay it forward. That was my dream. And so I knew that I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I wanted diversity and I wanted additional streams of income because I thought somewhere down the road, eventually, as I was building an additional stream of income, I could leave that job. You guys can relate to that? That's the God's honest truth. So what I did after reading that book was I went to an event that Robert Allen and Mark Victor Hansen were having in Los Angeles. It was a multiple streams of income type of event, Enlightened Millionaires program. I'm sitting there in a seat just like you. And in that seat, I sat there and I listened to opportunities in front of me. Presenters were coming and going, speakers coming and going with these great opportunities, and I was evaluating them. And as such, there was one speaker who stood out. His name was John Childers. Does anybody know John Childers? Great, couple hands here in the room. So John Childers came up and presented on the platform, and he was talking about something different than everybody else. Most of the other speakers were talking about real estate and how to make money creating wealth that way. And I was very interested in real estate because that seems like one of the best opportunities to create wealth. But in this case, John presented an opportunity. He was presenting a package that was called the $1 Million Speaker Training. I could have cared less about speaking. I didn't even care to do that. That's not something that's my forte. I'm just the real deal. And so what I heard there, though, sitting in that seat, was different marketing strategies, techniques and tactics that I could take and apply to my business to differentiate my business from all the competition. Not only that, but I could take those tactics and techniques and apply them to my real life to take my life to the next level. It's with this type of mindset that I had that I want to share with you right now, that I want you to evaluate me up here on stage. I want you to create the CEO mindset because you're building a $1 million information marketing empire. And as the CEO, you need to listen to these marketing tactics that can take you to the next level. And so I sat there, I listened to it, and I ended up investing in John's program. But here's what I want to share with you. You see, this is my story, and my story now is becoming published, and it's coming out in just a little bit. I'll tell you the facts on that. But this is my story, and I wanted to make a difference in your life. All of us have stories. All of us have stories that are inside of us that can make a difference for people, and really this is what information marketing is. So my story is called 3 Doors Knocking. You see, 3 Doors Knocking is an inspirational story. It's a story that's going to help you to see what's going on in your life, to see how you can take it to the next level. You see, I believe that we all go down this journey in life, and as such, we don't necessarily know what all the answers are. We don't know what path we should be taking and what doors we should go through. And I'm here to tell you that if you are evaluating your life and your journey, then this is how you assess the opportunity. When God wants to send you down a specific path and on a specific journey, He sends a spirit to knock on the first door. Write this down. This is called intuition. Door number 1 is called intuition. This is where you know deep down inside that something feels right or something feels wrong. We've all had it, agreed? We all know this feeling. And if you're paying attention and you are aware, then you know what you're supposed to do. If you're not paying attention and you're not aware, then God sends His Spirit to the second door to knock. And that's the door of synchronicity, where doors open and doors close. People come into our lives, people leave our lives. You guys relate to that? So it's true. If we are paying attention and we are aware, then we know what door to go through. But if we're not, then God sends His Spirit to the third door. This is the door of the 2x4, where something traumatic or dramatic is going to happen to your life. Now do you guys relate? How many of you guys have had these doors in your lives? Raise your hands. Excellent. You see, we've all had these types of doors. We've all had these types of doors in our lives, but guess what? I had them all in one day. You see, on December 30th of 2002, I woke up that morning sick to my stomach. I was sick to my stomach because I was working in the civil engineering company, and even though I'm being groomed and stepping up into the top spot there, things were going on in this company that were not right. We're not ethical. We're not within integrity. And I didn't agree with them. And it's not that it just happened. It happens over a period of time. You know that there's a line in the sand between right and wrong, and what our parents establish in us as values when we're little, that this is right, this is wrong, and that's what you do. But when things start happening and you start becoming comfortable with it, that line in the sand grows grayer and wider, right? Well, over a period of time, this happened in my company. And as such, even though we tried to change things and do the right things, and I tried to work with my partners to turn things around, it wasn't happening. I was getting a bit concerned. A couple months prior, I contacted an attorney, and I said, you know what? I need you to look at my paperwork here, my partners, my shareholders agreement, and take a look at this, because I feel like I might have to create an exit strategy sometime next year. 6 to 12 months out. You just don't leave a company like this with a 2 weeks notice. I don't know what kind of notice you give in Australia, and when you're at this type of a position, you just don't leave. And so he had that paperwork, and this is what I'm thinking. I wake up that morning and I'm sick to my stomach. I just did not want to go in. But you see, I persevere. That's not who I am. I'm extremely loyal, and you get up, you know, just like you guys have to do. You just make it happen, right? So I'm driving into work, and I get a phone call. I get a phone call from my top competitor. She calls me up and she says, Deb, hey, I just want you to know that I know you never accept any opportunities from anybody else because you never take any solicitations like that. But just in case, you need to know that we've been following you for the past 16 years. And if you ever want to consider another opportunity, we've created a position for you in international marketing, my dream. And if you ever want to talk to us, we're prepared to make you a vice president and move you into that position. Wow. Can you imagine the feelings going from sick to your stomach to, okay. So I listened, and we hung up, and I'm going on about my day, and that lunch I spend with my brother, Robin. Robin takes me out to lunch for my birthday, and we're right in the middle of lunch, and I get a phone call from my attorney, the guy I had presented my paperwork to a couple months prior. And he goes, Deb, this is your attorney, and He goes, you know what? I need to see you. I'm like, okay, cool. When? He goes, before the end of the year. Well, keep in mind, this is December 30th, the end of the year, December 31st, New Year's Day. It's a half day for us. We'll work until noon. And I said, so that would be today or tomorrow? He goes, yeah, right. And so I said, okay, well, you know what? I can meet you right after lunch. And he said, great, I'll see you then. So I went in to go visit with my attorney. He says, sit down. He said, I need to share some information with you. It is my advice as your attorney that you need to leave this company before the end of the year. Oh my gosh. I just got a 2x4 that nearly killed me. I could not believe what he was asking of me. How could he do that? That's my family. Those are my babies. Those are my young engineers that I was raising. Those are my clients. I was there for 18 years. 18 years. Could you imagine getting that kind of news and having to leave your company in less than 24 hours? And yet, when I took the emotion out of everything that I heard, and he had assessed everything that he needed to assess, logically, everything made sense. So I started to prepare the information to resign. I went out immediately, left his office, went into my car, and just cried. I could not believe this. This was such a huge blow. I could not believe it. And while I'm sitting there, I called everybody in my family, my mom, my brothers, my sister. And they said, honey, you need to know that we've known this for some time. It's going to be okay. We love you and we care about you. And it's going to be okay. You just weren't paying attention. You just weren't aware and you couldn't see what was really going on. So I'm like, thank God for family. Thank God for you, because I don't know what else I would do. So I'm driving back into the office for the afternoon and I get another phone call. This time it's from a protege that I met at that event that I was sitting at, just like you. We both joined the Mark Victor Hansen and Robert Allen protege program. She calls me up and she goes, Deb, just got back in from Los Angeles meeting with my business advisors. We're going international and they tell me I need somebody just like you on my team. Are you interested? Well, maybe. I could be. And she goes, well, here's the thing. We'd like to talk to you, but all my team is in town here in Phoenix right now, and everybody's leaving tomorrow after lunch. Could you meet us for lunch tomorrow? Yeah. Just so happens I'm going to be out of a job tomorrow at lunch. Love to meet with you. So this is my story. You can see that I had doors number 1, 2, and 3 knocking. And as such, I did resign that next day. And for the first time in about 3 years at that time, I had the most solid and sound sleep I could possibly have. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew that I was going to live my dreams. I didn't have a safety net. I didn't have all the answers, but I knew it was going to happen. And so from there, I left that opportunity and created my company called Wealth Alliance. Within 3 weeks of starting up Wealth Alliance, I started applying what I learned from John Childers on stage about information marketing. I created an event out of thin air, a seminar just like this. And I put on a seminar in 3 weeks and generated over $100,000, more than what I made the entire year in civil engineering. In 3 weeks, can you imagine if I hadn't opened those doors and gone through it, what it would have been like the rest of my life? And yet, I took that chance. I took that chance and prosperity happened. And with that event, what happened was Mark Victor Hansen and Robert Allen found out about it because, of course, I'm their protege. They started talking about this worldwide, and it just went crazy after that point because I did something that was unheard of in the industry. I didn't know that it was supposed to be hard to put people in the room, put cheeks in the seats, as I call it. I didn't know that you couldn't do that in 3 weeks and it was supposed to take 3 to 6 months. Nobody had ever seen those kind of results before. And as such, what happened, John Childers later found out about this, and I was coming into his program to be a student, and he snatched me immediately. And I went on then to start working with him. But this book right here, 3 Doors Knocking, it's about these 3 doors. And as I've shared this story worldwide on platforms, I'm teaching information marketing because this is where you take your knowledge. You take your story and you can make a difference with people. And I'm here to tell you that when I've shared this story, I've already had 3 people come up to me. 3 people came up to me over this period of the past couple years to tell me that they wanted to end their life. And after they heard this story, they didn't want to do that anymore. I was speaking in Atlanta, and one person, one individual stood out amongst the rest because he was 12 years old, and he wanted to end his life. And I couldn't believe it. I'm so humbled by that. You see, what kind of story do you have in you that can make a positive difference in other people's lives? If it's just one heart, that's all worth it, is it not? If it's just one heart, it makes it completely worth it. So I shared this story with Mark Victor Hansen. He went nuts over it, made me get up and speak it and teach it at his mega events. And he's writing the last chapter in my book, and he's going to put me through his New York publishers. And so it's coming out in a book at the end of the year here. And when I was speaking in Singapore and I shared this story with the audience there, the next speaker behind me happened to be the Dr. Phil of Asia. I didn't know him. And I'm coming off the stage, he's coming up, and he gives me a high five, and he says, "I'm interviewing you. As soon as I get off the stage, don't go anywhere." Well, it turns out he is producing and creating the sequel to The Secret. Does everybody know that movie? He's producing it, and I got interviewed to be in that movie. It's coming out January 19th now. And that's going to make a huge difference and continue to make a difference in people's lives. And I'm so excited about that. Can you see how the ball continues to roll? Because you take action and you believe. And so this is what I really want to stress with you. This is my way of creating a relationship with you so that you can understand where I come from. Because I care, I represent myself with honesty and integrity, and this is what I bring to you. I'm bringing to you the real opportunities that you can take here today to take you to the next level. What I want you to do is I want you to be decisive in nature. You've got to be decisive in nature. Do you know that the common denominator of billionaires today, and this was written up in Forbes magazine, is that they were quick to make decisions. Quick to make decisions and slow to change their mind. Listen to that. Quick to make decisions and slow to change their mind, because they knew that opportunities could come like this. And if you don't take advantage of them, they could pass and somebody else would take advantage of them instead. And so you need to be decisive in nature and make a decision. And with that, I want you to think about working smarter, not harder. You know, in the United States, we're going through a really rough time, as well as you guys. And a lot of people are losing their jobs, or they're hanging on to their jobs and trying to make some more money by getting a second and third job. This isn't about working harder. This is about leveraging your knowledge and packaging that as information so that you work smarter and you can make a lot more money. How many of you would like to take what you make in a year and make that in a month? How about a week? How about a day? Look at the example I just gave you, a real life example, because I'm here to tell you I walk the talk. I'll share with you the real deal of how this really works and what happened with me and what's happened with a lot of my students. So you want to work smarter, not harder. Let me share this story with you. Armin and I were in London, and we're sitting at this little cafe inside, and we're right next to the window there looking out over the streets and the park and everything, and there's this fly right there in our window that's buzzing around us, and this fly is trying to get out through the window because it thinks that's freedom. It thinks that's the world. It can see the success, it can see the prosperity, and yet this fly just continues to buzz around the window and it can't get through. It can't break through that mindset. It backs up, it flies into the window, it keeps bonking its head, and it doesn't get anywhere. If that fly could just think differently, if that fly could just turn around 180 degrees and take 8 steps out an open door, it would have that prosperity. It would have that freedom. It would have the chance to live. I invite you to think about your life and what's happening to you right now. Are you going to end up being that fly on the windowsill? Or are you going to break through your thinking and change your life so that you can go to the next level and live your dreams? Think about this. This is your chance. I can't express it any different. I have flown all the way from the United States to speak to your hearts and to share this with you, because this is your chance to make that kind of a difference. If you continue to do the same things over and over again, that's called insanity. If you do the same things over and over again and yet you expect different results, why would you think you would get different results? You're doing the same thing. If you want success and you want to make it happen, you've got to create a paradigm shift. I'm not saying go out and quit your job. I wouldn't want that on anybody. But you've got to create this type of a paradigm shift to get your thinking changing. It's called Parkinson's Law. Parkinson's Law. If you guys have read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week, how many of you read that book? He talks about that in that book, where you create a paradigm shift to put your back against the wall, because you guys know if you've got a deadline, if you had to catch a plane right now, believe it or not, your bags would be packed, you'd be ready to go. You'd make it happen. You don't have time to sit there and think about it. You do it. Is that true? It's true. So this is the type of paradigm shift you've got to create in your lives to make that kind of a difference. What you need to think about right here is that it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter where you start. It matters that you start and where you finish, doesn't it? You can do this anytime at any point in your life, but the time is now. You are spending life. You're spending life right now. Wouldn't you rather be spending money and living life? I'm here to tell you guys that since I made this paradigm shift, everything I've always dreamed of is starting to come true. I can't tell you how long I dreamt of coming to Australia. I knew I was coming to Australia. I just didn't know when. I thought I was going to live on, one of the stations out in the outback, because I ride horses in the United States and I rope, believe it or not. But I thought I would come out here to live and to work. I've always had a dream of doing that. I've had a dream of traveling the world. Now I have that opportunity, and not only do I have that opportunity, but I can take my family with me. I can do this anywhere, anytime, in any economy. It doesn't matter, because this opportunity is even better regardless of the opportunities in the economies. This is what you can do to make extra money. So I want you to listen to this as we continue to go forward, because I'm going to get into some nuts and bolts and details. But I want to share with you what the problems are that we all face. And then I'm going to give you some solutions. First of all, there's no action plan or a step-by-step process. When you look at opportunities that are presented to you, oftentimes they're just opportunities and you don't get a plan. Well, coming from the civil engineering field, guess what? We always started out with plans and blueprints. If you're building a house and you're building this foundation, you've got to know what your plans are. You've got to know what you're doing and what it is you want to build. And if you don't have that, if you don't see that in a system, is that system going to be good for you? No, you need to know exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. That's how you need to evaluate the opportunities. In addition to that, the problem that there often is when considering opportunities is that people present what I call magic blue pills. Magic blue pills. If you get this now, you can make millions of dollars. If you get this now, you can lose weight. If that were true, wouldn't we all be skinny and wealthy? I'm here to tell you, there's no magic blue pills. There is no magic blue pills. Why? Because it only resides in you and the action that you take. Nobody can do it for you but you. That's why I'm creating this mind shift and this awareness in you right now. You're becoming the CEO of your $1 million business empire. Oftentimes, you'll find that a mentor doesn't have a proven system. They don't walk the talk, or what they present is not the real deal. They'll come up and they'll talk about themselves and they'll share their stories, but their system doesn't really work. Do you see results from their students? Did you have that opportunity to evaluate that? You've got to do your due diligence if you're the CEO of your business. Every decision that we made in civil engineering, we always performed due diligence. Always. You've got to look for disconnects, red flags I call them, and look at door number one. Is your door number one knocking? Is the intuition there? Does something not feel right? Could this possibly be? No one teaches the marketing. You know, the money is in marketing. It's not in all these other tactics and strategies. The money is in marketing. Think about it. This is where I differentiate myself from everybody else, because my education is in marketing with 2 degrees, because my foundation, my expertise is 20 years of experience in marketing and information marketing. And this is what the knowledge is that I'm bringing to you today. If you know marketing, you can be successful. You don't have to know the technology. You don't have to know how to do websites. I didn't. After 5 years, I finally got a website done, and I was successful without a website for 5 years. Extremely successful. You can outsource any part of those components, but if you know marketing as the CEO of your business and you can make those kind of decisions, then you can be successful. Agreed? Does it make sense? Is this good information? Yes. Great. So no one spends time with you or gives you access. I wanted that. When I sat there in that seat, I looked at all the people in front of me, and you know what? It was all well and good, but you couldn't go talk to them. They weren't approachable. And then once you bought their system, they were nowhere to be found. And after being in this business for 5 years, I swore I would never do that. If you're truly there to help people, you need to be with the people. I just don't believe in that. And if you're really there, you know, the money will come. If people that are just trying to take the money up front, that doesn't make sense to me. The money will come. It will follow when you do the right things. So I believe in access. I believe in being there for you to the extent, you guys. I had students flying from all over Australia to be with me this weekend. I told them in advance, I'm coming to Australia. I'm staying 4 days longer so that I can be with you. And they came in droves. In droves. They're here in this room. They're here with you today because we've become part of a family. And thank God for that. Because I've given them the key to my rooms. They come and go as they please. We've been hanging out up there, doing some live trainings and spending a lot of time together. And today they came up to see me during one of your breaks, and I didn't have any makeup on. I mean, they saw me in my workout clothes and no makeup. And you know they're family when they still love you after that point in time. That's got to really be unconditional love amongst us. And that's the truth. You know, everywhere I go, I work to meet my students and be accessible to them. And it's not just in live trainings like this, but it's in webinars, and it's on the phone, and it's through emails. You need a system like that, and you need a process like that and a mentor like that who will take you to the next level and that cares about you. The other problem here is that what happens is you tend to spend a lot of money looking at those magic blue pills without getting any results, and it's the same deal a different day. Is it not? The same thing over and over again. You're that fly. You're that fly bonking its head. This is your chance to make a difference. So here's your success system. I want you to write this down. There are 3 methods to achieving success. The first method that we have really been establishing here is your mindset. It's your mindset, because when you change your thinking, you change your life. Think about that. When you change your thinking, you change your life. You start getting the results that you want because you're doing things differently. So as such, continue to go through this information with me and think about how this is going to take you to the next level. Now, the second key to success is mastermind. This is where you want to surround yourself with a mastermind team. People who are like-minded, like my friend Wendy, that protege. I wouldn't have been able to go to the next level with her and work with her in her company after I left my business as a consultant if I didn't have that mastermind team. Because you're around people that understand and support you. Is this your family? Sometimes it's not, because your family may not be here with you. They're not growing at the same speed of rate that you are growing at right now in your knowledge. And so if they're not, then you've got to continue to take this leap of faith, because you know what? Your family knows you better than anything, don't they? They know where that ceiling is that they can put over your head and say, you know what? You can't do it. That started when we were little kids. You can't do that. You can't do that. The reason why I was successful with that seminar event that I mentioned in the beginning is because nobody told me I couldn't do it. I didn't know I couldn't do it. And I did it. And I created a product that skyrocketed out there. As such, John Childers told me, you've got to create this information product. People have got to know what you just did. But before you do it, I need proven results. Can you do it again? Yes, I can. Okay, here's your challenge. You're going to do another event in 3 weeks. You have 3 weeks from right now. And you're going to do another event, and you can do it in Phoenix. Okay, I love challenges. Don't tell me I can't do something, because I'll figure out a way to do it. And he goes, here's the deal. There's always something, isn't there? Not only do you have to do that event in Phoenix in 3 weeks, You have to do it the next day in another city in another state in 3 weeks. I had to do 2 back-to-back events, and I had to pick another city, another state. So I'm like, okay, I choose San Diego, California, because it was the fastest way we could get on a plane, leave Phoenix, and get somewhere and get set up. So I did. I created an event in Phoenix. My challenge was to get 100 cheeks in the seats there. And I did at each event. And I got creative. I did things differently because nobody told me how I was supposed to do it. And they told me that I couldn't do it. I did it with professionalism. I did it through relationships. And I got them there. And as such, we made just under $200,000 that weekend, each day. Each day. And from there, I went on to create my information product. It was called Guerrilla Promoting. It was about marketing and promoting seminars, how to get cheeks in the seats by thinking outside the buns. So that was my first signature product. And that's what started all of this. Once you create a product once, you sell it over and over again, and you make a lot of money. So when it comes to a mastermind team, you're going to have people around you that are going to sharpen your swords and take you to that next level. And oftentimes it's not our family, as I was just mentioning. My family didn't believe me. When I left my civil engineering company and I started out in this industry, they wondered what I was doing wrong and illegal. How are you making all that kind of money that fast? What's going on? But guess what? My family no longer thinks differently. Why? Because I've hired most of them. They all work for me now. My mother-in-law is my chief operations officer. My husband's my partner. My brother's my partner. Our kids are in the business. My Aunt Gogi, 67 years old, hadn't touched a typewriter in 35 years. She now heads up our transcribing team. She's got her own blog teaching her recipes from church. She's got AdSense on her site, and she's making money. So the whole family works with us, and this was a dream come true, and now it's their dream, and they're having a ball. My mother-in-law had never been outside of Arizona. And last year when I came to Sydney, Australia, she came with me for the first time she left the country. And she had a ball. I've taken her to London, taken her all over the place. She wanted to come this time and we couldn't work it out for this trip. She's coming next time. My students loved her so much the last time I was here, they took up a collection just to fly her back. Just to fly her. So it's just a real great opportunity. Now the third key to your success is mentor. You have to have a mentor that you resonate with, one that's real, one that walks the talk, one that has integrity, and one that is going to tell you how to do it, show you how to do it, and then do it with you. You see, the number one key to success, proven over thousands and thousands of years, is when a master takes an apprentice, and they tell them how to do it, and they show them how to do it, and then they do it. You think about that. Think about that. It's been proven over thousands of years. I'm not sharing anything new with you. You already know this. Use it for your life. Use it to take advantage of the opportunities coming to you. So in this case, let's talk about this opportunity. Information marketing. It is a much bigger picture. You see, in information marketing, last year, 145 million people spent over $108 billion online. Imagine that. Where do you think all that money went? It went to information marketing. Think about it. Everything that is online, is it not first information? It might be products, and they might be physical, but it's first information. Your product can be packaged physically or virtually, but it's first information. And if you don't present your product and information out there, somebody else will. So information marketing, 145 million people. Do you think there's a target market out there for you? Yes. Do you think that there's enough money out there for you? Yes, there is abundance. You might think, well, Deborah, you know, so many people are already doing it. We already see this information out there. Yes, there is no new information, is there? There is the latest diet books. There is the latest book on real estate investing. And guess what? Those people still continue to make money. So you have to believe in abundance, and you have to understand and know that somebody is going to resonate with you because of your journey, because of your story, because of your life. They want that information from you. You don't need to know technology. You need to know marketing. So what is it? Information marketing is simply the business of selling information, is it not? It's your selling of your information, and you can put it into products, you can put it into services, whatever you desire. Now let me share with you what internet marketing is, because you have been learning that term over and over again. Internet marketing is a tactic. It's a tactic, it's a strategy, it's a way to sell that information online, via the internet. So information marketing is the big picture. This is where the money is. If you look at all the people in this industry, they're really information marketers. And they're just using internet marketing as a tactic to sell that information. It's just one tactic. There's other tactics, on or offline. I'm offline right now. I'm offline, I'm presenting to you, and I have a continuing education course to take you to the next level that I will offer to you at the end. This is an offline tactic. It's called seminar marketing. There's other tactics: consulting, coaching, memberships, affiliate marketing, resource marketing. These are other types of tactics that you can and should make money in. It's not just about the internet. You're leaving money on the table if you don't consider this whole big picture. You guys like this information? And I'm getting down to the nuts and bolts for you, and I'm trying to pull everything together for you, okay? So let's look at it this way. I'm going to take you through some graphic examples here. In the United States, all the money, all the gold bullion, billions and billions of dollars, resides in one location called Fort Knox. Fort Knox, it's in Tennessee, and all the banks take the money that they collect and they send it to Fort Knox. So that's where all the wealth is. If anything happens in the United States, that's where all the gold bullion is. That's what we have for negotiating power, right? So in this case, look at these small banks as one of the types of tactics. But look at Fort Knox as your business. Look at Fort Knox as your information marketing empire where all the money is. Does this make sense? Does this help? Okay, so let's take it another way. Information marketing, this is the gold rush model that I call it. Back in the 1800s in the United States, the economy collapsed. And it actually caused a ripple effect worldwide. Worldwide, just like what's happening right now. And so as such, people from all over the world rushed to California. That's why they call it the gold rush, because they were seeking gold. They knew that gold had that value, had that monetary value where they could become wealthy. And everybody from all over the world came to California to get their gold. But guess what? Who do you think made all the money during this time? The people who sold the picks and the shovels, the maps, the information marketers. They are the ones that became wealthy. The people that sold the picks and the shovels. One of my good friends, Matt Basic, I don't know if you guys have heard him or not. I work with Matt too, and Matt just bought, 200 acres in Georgia. And he's just having a ball taking his four-wheeler out and seeing all his land, and he's on some Indian land there, and he's got little waterfalls and rivers going through it, and he found a little speck of gold in his waterway. And so what does he do? He found this little speck of gold in his waterway. The first thing he does is he goes out and seeks a consultant, an information marketer. He's a consultant. And he says, hey, how do I do this? What do I do? What do I need? And he got a step-by-step process. And who made the money there? The consultant. Matt still hasn't made any money with his gold yet. But that's okay. This is just an example that I want you to understand, that the real money is in the knowledge. If you leverage your knowledge, you can do this. So let's look at it this way. You see, imagine this, what you're seeing on the screen right now. This is the world at large. This is your marketplace. And as such, what you see right there is a specific target market. Each one of those hills where people are digging for gold, that's going to be your marketing funnel. It's inverted right now. It's upside down, but that's a marketing funnel. And as people come into your funnel, first they're a suspect. They're kind of looking at this and they're a suspect, and maybe they want to go look for gold. When they go and look for gold and they're interested in coming into your business, that becomes a prospector. That means they're a prospect. Do you see where the term comes from? Prospector, prospect. When they find gold and they cash it in with you, they become a customer. So as such, what you're seeing here is that people are digging for gold, the gold nuggets. The more they chip away and find those gold nuggets, the deeper they go into your marketing funnel, the more you get paid in your business. And they want that information. They need it. That's what's going to change their lives and help them. Everybody is different. Everybody needs something different. That's why you can resonate with people based upon your story and your knowledge and your information. So I'm here to tell you that information marketing is the next gold rush. You can do this, as I said, anywhere, anytime, in any economy. It is the most profitable business that you can start up and get started in without having to create a brick and mortar business and buy a lot of products. It's fast, it's easy, you can research your information, you can do it 24/7. You create something once, you sell it over and over again, you make money while you sleep. You make money while you sleep. I'm here to tell you guys, listen to this, I just read this on the internet before I came down here. Do you know that people prosper in down economies, in recessions and depressions? And the reason why is because, one, they don't think that there's a recession. They don't think anything bad is going on. I refuse to watch the news. I refuse to listen to news because it's negative. I can't allow that kind of mindset. And neither should you. You've got to keep this type of positive mindset. Guess what kind of company succeeded in this type of an environment, a recession and depression? GE, Disney, Hewlett-Packard, Microsoft. Each one of them came out of those types of economies and succeeded and took the competition. This is where you have an incredible chance. And guess what? In times like this, people get together. They want information. They're struggling. They need that knowledge. They need that help. This is where they need you. This is where we pull together and we do help each other. So this is what my company looks like. In information marketing, we transform your ideas into wealth. And it comes in these 7 income streams where you create products. You can offer your information through consulting. You can offer your information through coaching, through memberships, through speaking, through resources, recommending your relationships, your tools that you use, the people that you know, through affiliate marketing. This is what we teach because this is full circle. Do you see how these little tactics come together to bring you to the big picture? Does it make sense? Is this all coming together now? Great. So it's your information marketing enterprise that we are building here right now. And your number one goal is to create your own product and package your information. When you do that, you keep all the money. So you create your own product and you do what? I can't hear you guys. It's your product and you do what? Keep all the money. How many of you guys want money? Yes, that's why you guys are here. So let's get that mindset going and think about this and take it to the next level here. So what is your knowledge worth? What is your knowledge worth? You're thinking about this. I know information, but what does this really mean to me? How many of you have heard this phrase right here, that knowledge is power? Raise your hand. It's a lie. It's a lie. Because if you think about it, knowledge is not power. It's applied knowledge. Applied knowledge is power. If knowledge were just power, wouldn't all the librarians who have all the knowledge at their fingertips be millionaires? Is that true? Think about that. If all you do is sit there and learn and you don't do anything with it, are you not going to be that fly bonking its head on the window? You're going to be that fly on the windowsill is what's going to happen. Only you can make a success out of you because you take the action. And guess what? When you do this, it can be worth millions of dollars to you in information marketing. This is how it's done. So making millions in information marketing, you have expertise that other people will pay you for. You do it better and you do it different. Teach what you know, do it better, and do it different. That's what it boils down to. I've told you there's no new information out there, but you have your way. You have your style. So think about this. Let me give you an example of this, of doing it better and doing it different. Back in the 1960s, in the United States, the head of Bell Labs, Alexander Graham Bell's company, who created and invented the telephone, decided that they needed to do things different. He needed to create a paradigm shift because they were doing things over and over again the same way, except trying to get different results. And so he pulled together all the department heads in his company, and he told them, we have a state of emergency here. Last night, the entire phone system went down. We've been hit in the company. We have to get everybody together here. You've got to recreate this system because we have to get it up and going as fast as possible. I need you to think about this and think how we can systematize this and process this more effectively and efficiently. As such, his team did not know that that was just an exercise. They were presented as if this really happened. They had their backs put up against the wall. What you have to do to yourselves. They thought they had no time and they had to completely reinvent this system. And as such, they did. And guess what we got out of it? We now enjoy cell phones, push-button phones, caller ID, caller waiting. All of that came out of this one exercise. And now they do it better and they do it different. Is that cool? So this is what you do. And everybody can do this within their own niche, within their own ideas. I don't care if you're there to teach golf, sports arbitrage, accounting, you guys name it. Success and wealth for women, it applies to any niche and any subject. So let me just talk about sports arbitrage just a moment here. I've got a microphone, and I want to share one of my success stories here with you with Sean Pounder. Sean, come on up. This is one of your fellow Aussies. Hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sean Pounder. I'm a solicitor, and I actually worked in Castlereagh Street not that long ago. Now, as a solicitor, the biggest problem for me is that I had to deal with clients, and I actually traded my time for money. Now, I made good money, but that's what I wasn't passionate about money. Nor was I passionate about having to deal with clients. Because in litigation, I had two types of clients. First client, if we won the case, they complained about the fees. If we lost the case, then they blamed us. And I was so jealous of people that were passionate about what they did. I wasn't passionate. Every Sunday, I hated Sunday afternoons because I knew that I had the whole week to go. But then I said, that's it. I quit my job, went overseas and had a holiday and came back, and I decided I have to find something that I'm passionate about. And I'm sure everyone here is thinking, I mean, a lot of people here might love what they do, but I'm sure there's a majority of people wish that they were doing something that they're passionate about. And Deborah can really help you make money out of your passion. If you would like to actually enjoy every day of your job or every day of your business, then please take action today. If it's not with Deborah, someone else, but please take action. Deborah can help you make the new step in your life. And I wish you all the luck.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Excellent. That was excellent. This is a great start for Sean because he's moving forward, creating a wealth system now with other experts so that he can teach students how to create wealth in a variety of different income streams. So let's just talk about this a little bit more here. This is the business. You create an information product once, and you sell it over and over and over again. This is my product, Bullseye Marketing Accelerator System. I created it once, and I sell it over and over again. And imagine it being your product that you sell over and over again, where the money just comes in. This one example right here, you can see how much I've generated in just 5 months by creating a product. If I hadn't done it, I wouldn't have that money. So if you don't get off your duff and do it, you won't have that money. So why your product? Because it's 100% yours. It's your intellectual property. It's what's going to make it different with the people you know. Also, you control the creation, the marketing, the layout, anything you want. You know, I'll share a story with you. Armin and I were creating a product together. And Armin has a specific way of doing things. I'm sure you've just seen that. Well, we're creating this product, and guess what? He doesn't like italics. I'm writing this product out, and he doesn't want italics in his product. Well, I'm his partner, and it's my product too. And so he didn't do all the writing, so guess how this product went out? With italics. Yeah, I don't think he still knows that to this day. But you control the creation. If you were publishing your book through a standard or large publishing house, you wouldn't get that type of control. You wouldn't get that type of access. This is where you take control because it's your product. Affiliates can sell it for you. Affiliates can sell it for you. Now you have a sales force underneath you. It gives you credibility and it builds your reputation. Who's to tell you you're an expert? Who? You. You tell others you're an expert. If you think about all the people out there who have told us that they're experts, why? Most likely it's because they're published. Do you not think when somebody's published that they're an expert? How are they any different than you? They got off their duff and they created a product and they published it. How easy is that for you to do? It's that easy. You are the expert with what you know. It's your life. It's what you can share with others. 100% of the revenue is yours. When you sell your own product, 100% of that revenue is yours. Bottom line, it's your product, it's your money, it's your list. You keep all of that. So anyone can do this. Think of it this way. I want to brainstorm with you for just a moment. What is your experience? What are your hobbies or interests? What are you passionate about? Do you have systems, shortcuts, tips, tricks, and strategies that you can share with others? Think about those questions, ask them of yourselves, and look at the answers and brainstorm the opportunities that you have to share. How many moms do I have in the audience? Raise your hand. I needed your product. I needed your product. About 5 years ago, I got married for the first time, and I actually was dating this gentleman 16 years prior when we were in our 20s. I just wasn't ready to get married. And as such, we found each other after that many years, and now I know why. I carried around that wedding dress for 16 years and his ring. But I married him, and all of a sudden I became an instant mom. I didn't have any kids, but I had a little 4-year-old and a little 11-year-old boy. Their mom had checked out, didn't want to have anything to do with them. I'm instant mom, instant mom. See these? My little son, every time we go to some place or a gumball machine, Mom, can I have 25 cents? And all he cares about is getting something for me. I told him I would wear his jewelry on stage and show it to you guys. He said, that's so exciting, Mom, thank you. I just talked to him on Skype just a moment ago. So I have to show you my rings he got me, because how cool is that? But you know what? I didn't know what to do with him when I got him. You know, what to feed him. When I sent him off to school, I gave him a grocery bag full of things for lunch. I didn't know what he ate, when he ate, or where it went after that. You know, what do you do? That seems so simple, but guess what? It wasn't for me. Same thing's going to happen to you. There's people out there that need what you think is a simple solution. Don't assume that people know what you know. What does assume mean? Makes an ass out of you and me. He said it first. I heard him. I can repeat it if that's the case. But it's true. You never assume that people know what you know or the way you know it. So you explain it to them. But you can do this. Or let's look at it this way. If you still can't think of something for yourself, who is it? He was born into poverty. Okay, could be anybody, right? In 1908, Andrew Carnegie commissioned him to interview millionaires to find out what the common denominator to their success was. Does anybody know who it is? Napoleon Hill. That's great. Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich. It took him 29 years to take those interviews and write a book. He was a procrastinator. 29 years. Can you imagine that? And yet, if you look at this book right here, he sold over 7 million copies of this, and he became a multimillionaire. He could have been a multimillionaire 29 years earlier, when he probably could have walked and enjoyed himself. But he didn't. He waited. He was that fly bonking his head on that window for 29 years. And finally, towards the end of his life, he made it happen. After more than 67 years, this book is still considered today to be the Millionaire's Bible. If you haven't read it, go get it. Because this is what we consider to be our Bible. The principles in this book are still the foundation of what you need to know today. It still makes sense. So Napoleon Hill is the author of Think and Grow Rich, what the mind of man can conceive and believe it can achieve. Think about that. You can do this. You can become a reporter, just like Napoleon Hill. It wasn't his information. He interviewed experts. He got that knowledge out of them, and he created a product. You could be sitting there right now in this audience and interview every speaker on this platform. You have a product, don't you? And now you're published. Now you've got credibility. Now you've got an information product. How hard is it to do that? It's not. You just have to ask. You just have to ask. I was just speaking in Detroit, and oh my gosh, what a depressing place to go to. Everybody is losing their job there. I mean, they have this thing at Ford, which was across the street from where I was speaking, that every Thursday it's called Black Thursday. Because what happens is you get a knock on your door at home saying, don't come back tomorrow, and here's your things. You don't get to say goodbye to anybody. You don't know when it's going to happen. It happens every week. Every week. And it's just so dismal there. It's just so depressing. And I'm speaking there in this audience, and I had several students come on board with me and sign up, and one of them was an engineer. She builds diesel engines. And she says, Deborah, I'm just so passionate about this. I want to show other engineers this life, this opportunity. How can I do this? I don't have the experience. That's right, you don't. If you don't present yourself as if you do. That's not right, is it? You've got to do this with ethics and integrity. So guess what? Zernitza, you can become a reporter. I used to be in engineering. Matt Basic used to be in engineering. Here's another information marketer in engineering. Now we've got a theme of marketers from the engineering background that you can create an information product from their success stories, from their interviews, and share that with your friends. See how easy that was? Problem solved in less than 15 minutes. Problem solved, and that's exactly what she's doing right now. So look at this. We've got this. Deborah, I want to do this, but I still don't know what my topic is. Ballroom dancing, banking, selling, real estate, health, marketing, all of these right here are the students. This is just a cross-section of my students. Some of the topics that they are teaching and that they are doing right now to take it to the next level in information marketing. Now, Pix, I'd like you to come up here to the top because I want to share with you another real student example. Pix is from Mildura. Does everybody know where Mildura is? Yeah. Oh, great. Pix, they already know you. Come on up here. So, Pix, I want you to share with this audience about your experience and what you are doing in information marketing right now.
Thank you, Deb. My name's Pix Jonathan, as you know, from Mildura. I'm, I guess, a newbie. I had no idea about internet marketing or information marketing. I purchased Brett McFall's book, How to Make Money While You Sleep, and out of that I went to World Internet Summit in Sydney in March. Saw the myriad of speakers and was absolutely overwhelmed by the information, but thought, yes, I believe you can do this. Saw Deb speak and my heart sang. I just can't believe how much Deb has actually impacted my life. She's the real deal. Everything you see here is what she says, what she does. So much so that I actually held my own live event in Mildura. My passions are property and self-development, and I actually had a live event for 50 women, a mini expo, property and passions about moving on in life, so that was really good. And I just love Deb to bits. As you can tell, she's just a beautiful person. It's really great to have a woman up here. She's certainly been a role model for me, and I'm just so thrilled. I said, if ever you're in Australia, Deb, I'm there. So I flew up, and it's just so great to be here, and she's really changed my life for the better. So thank you, Deb.
Thank you, Pix. I love you. Thank you so much. So you see, there's opportunities around you. It just depends on what your passion is and what your dreams are. And this is just a cross-section of some of those topics. But let's talk about this. I have this product. This is one of the best case studies in marketing that you can learn from. This is the Coca-Cola case study. And back in April of 1985, Coca-Cola decided to come out with a brand new product. They called it the New Coke. It's smoother, rounder, yet bolder. You'll absolutely love it. But guess what? Do you guys remember when this came out? People worldwide, they threw up their arms and they said, no, we don't want this. They started hoarding their Coke. They started putting it on the black market and charging hundreds of dollars for their Coke. They did not want it, and Coca-Cola could not believe the public's outcry and reaction to this. And as such, after 3 months of having that new Coke on the shelves, they had to backpedal and pull everything back. They had to backpedal and pull everything back. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Well, the truth of the matter is, when you look at this, if you don't plan, you're essentially planning to fail. And in this case, Coca-Cola says right here, we've long considered this to be a fatal mistake on Coca-Cola's part. They didn't ask the critical question of Coke users, do you want a new Coke? By not asking this question, they had to backpedal. And look at this. Look at this. It lasted 73 days on the market, and it was a $4 million mistake. $4 million. Is that true? It was at the time, but it's not true today. It's not a $4 million mistake. It's a $1 billion mistake. Why? What happened during this time? Who can tell me? Pepsi. Pepsi took the market. Pepsi took the market and hasn't let go ever since. It's cost Coca-Cola billions of dollars. Why? Because they didn't ask. They didn't ask their own users, their own customers. If you think you can come out here and create a product just for the sake of creating a product, you're mistaken. This is the bullseye approach right here. If you want to hit the bullseye of your target market, you just ask. You just ask. Let me ask you this. I'm from Arizona. We have a lot of saguaro cactuses that look like this. You probably have seen them on the cartoons for Bugs Bunny or something. How many of you would like to learn how to grow a saguaro cactus? Anybody in this audience? You guys feel sorry for me, don't you? But you see, if I created this product and I tried to sell it to everybody in this audience, it's not what they wanted. What you have to do is become the doctor. You have to find out what the need is in your target market first, and then you provide the solution. If you went in to see a physician and you had a lot of pain and you walk in the door and they sit you down and the first thing they do is start working on you, what would you think? Like, what are you doing to me, right? You know, if they started performing surgery on you or giving you medicine or cutting your arm off, you wouldn't like it, would you? But a doctor comes in and assesses the opportunity or the situation with you, finds out what's wrong, what are your needs, what are your pains, and then provides you with the solution. That's the CEO mindset that you need to have. That's the marketing knowledge you need to have, right? Does that make sense? So this right here is an example of one of my other students, Kim Patrick, that lives here in Australia. She followed this advice that I gave her. She's written a book on how to discipline your children to help other moms out there discipline their kids. And she put out this email to her list asking them, what else is it that you would like to know? With that, she created another information product so she could take them to the next level. So it's your information marketing enterprise. This is the whole thing that we're getting down to building is your information marketing enterprise because it's your product and you do what? Keep all the money. Let me hear that again, you guys. I want you to wake up. It's your product and you do what? Keep all the money. Yeah, right on. There we go. So you want to create your own product. Let's start with this process right here. There's all types of products. I call them clicks and bricks. Hi, Tanya. More students are coming in. So they're called clicks and bricks. Clicks are what you might sell virtually, online, and bricks are physical products. So an ebook would be considered a click. A book would be considered a brick. It's just a fun way of terming it, right? A seminar would be a brick. A webinar would be a click. Different ways to package your knowledge and information so that you can get it out there to teach people. This is your marketing funnel. This is where people are digging for the gold nuggets that you have and want to give you that money. This is your marketing funnel, and your fortune is in your funnel. Now I'm going to give you some close-ups on this, and I want you guys to pay close attention and write this down. This is the top of your funnel. At the top of your funnel, people are coming into your funnel through a variety of ways. Again, this is just an example. Maybe through articles, maybe through ads, through seminars, through books. They come into your funnel, but the important thing is that they come in through a relationship. And as such, they are first suspects. They're first suspects when they opt in and they give you a name and email address, they become a prospect. When they buy your product, they become a customer. Does it make sense? So, for example, if I had this product, or if I wanted to meet somebody, I see somebody on the street, and I tell you this is all about relationships, I don't come right up to you and say, would you marry me? Would you marry me? You don't do that. You see somebody that you like, but you don't come right up and you ask them to marry you. You build a relationship. You get their name. You find out who they are. You talk to them. Then maybe you get a phone number. Then maybe you meet for coffee. Maybe you start going to lunch after a period of time. You build a relationship. It doesn't happen the moment you see somebody. It happens over time and through trust. And as you're building this relationship, it grows. As such, you start dating. Then you date exclusively. And then you court. And then you become engaged. And then you get married. When you do that, you get to the bottom of your funnel. The same thing happens with your customer. They want to build a relationship with you, and you need to build one with them. Don't go for the jugular. Build a relationship, and you start at the top where they build trust in you. From there, you're going to build this qualified list, because it's not about quantity, it's about quality. This is the #1 method of getting cheeks. I'm going to stick with my theme here in your funnel. It's about quality relationships. Quality relationships. I know you guys say bums, right? Okay, so here's how. This is your funnel, and this is the low end. As they're coming in and you're getting to know them, and you're starting to go out for coffee, so to speak, with your customer, you want to offer them a product that's somewhere between $0 and $297, somewhere between free and just under $300, because that's where the trust can be built, right? And you might offer this in terms of teleseminars, ebooks, special reports. This is just a variety of things that you can offer to them. As the relationship builds and the trust continues, then you move on. This is an example of a low-end product. This product right here, I created with one of my friends. Does anybody know Michael Fortin? He's one of the best copywriters in the world. He wrote copy for John Reese for one of John Reese's product launches. And when John went to go launch that product, the sales letter is what Michael wrote. They put it up online, and within 24 hours, they did $1.04 million. This is the money you make in this business. You need to start thinking in these kind of numbers because it's common. It's true. And what happened here was I got on the phone with Michael and one of my partners, and we showed him our sales letter that we wrote for a seminar. And Michael critiqued it. So we have our before sales letter of our seminar, we have the critique, and then we have the revision based upon Michael's critique. We packaged all of that, we transcribed the call, and we put it together in a product, a $197 product. It took us 2 hours to do that call with Michael. That product was created in less than a week, and do the math. Look at what you can make with that kind of money. How many of you would like that much money extra in your pocket per year? That's just one product. And if you do this over and over again, imagine how you can build the wealth. So your next step in your funnel is the mid-range products. This is where it's somewhere between $397 and $1997. Again, this could be home study courses, it could be seminars, it could be memberships. There's a variety of different things that you can apply here. Remember the 7 income streams, but this is where the customer is really trusting you. They want to spend more money with you. The relationship is in place. And as such, you've got to offer them that opportunity. If you do not, then you do a disservice to them. You do a disservice to them because they want to stay with you. If you do not offer them the next level or another opportunity, what happens? They go somewhere else. They go to somebody else that cares. So let's look at it this way. You want to grow your list. The mid-range product. This is an example of what Armand and I did. We created a company called Freedom Factor. It was based upon his theory of success leaves traces. Success leaves traces, if you think about that. And so we're here to teach the mindset of success. And we had an event just like this, and we sold the people in the audience an opportunity for continuing education with us through a monthly membership. As such, when we did this membership, we had 26 people sign up at $7,800 a month. How many of you would like that much extra a month? Yes, yes. And then guess what? When we did our next event, we did it again. And we did it again. And you can do the math there and see how that multiplies out and how you grow it. You don't stop. Marketing is a continuous process. Write that down. That is your new philosophy. Marketing is a continuous process. Here's an example of us getting money while we're sleeping. Money coming in through our authorized net while we're sleeping. This is what you do. You create it once, you put it online, you sell it over and over again. So there's just an example of an extra $3,000 that came in as a result of selling this particular item. So here's the bottom of your funnel. The bottom of your funnel is where you are courting, you're engaged, and you're getting married. Because now your relationship with your customer, your client, they love you. They're your students. They'll do anything. They become your greatest evangelists. They will travel from all over to be with you. My students are in every aspect of this funnel right here, have that kind of relationship with me. I have that with them. I will travel to be there for them. They travel to be there with me. It's that kind of a relationship that you seek. In this case, the high-end products that you're looking at are going to be somewhere between the $2,000 and $5,000 level. And then at the very bottom of your funnel, believe it or not, you can kick this up to $20,000, even over $100,000. There are people out there paying for memberships that are at that high price point. Why? Because it's offered to them. There are people that just want to do it. And believe it or not, at that high price point, all people want is the relationship. Those customers, those students, those clients don't bother you. They don't ask for much. They value the relationship. They will do anything to be with you. That's the truth. This is your marketing funnel, and this is your business system. Is this good information? You guys like that? I like giving you the nuts and bolts because I believe with this marketing knowledge, this is what's going to make the difference for you. So let's look at some examples here of a high-range product. This is a product that Armand and I created together because remember, my core signature product was getting cheeks in the seats by thinking outside the buns on marketing. And Armand was actually one of my students in the very beginning. I was one of his students. We crossed products. I learned internet marketing from him. He learned seminar marketing from me. And we started doing this together. We came together and created a company. And we created this product. How did we do this? We created a membership, just like I showed you a moment ago. In that monthly membership, we teach our members on a monthly basis. Every call we do, we record. We take that recording, we get it transcribed, and now we have a manual. We created this entire system, and I wrote the manual and the planner, put it all together. Now we have our high-range product at $2,000. $2,000. We launched it in December of 2007. We sold 32 right off the bat at an event, did $63,000. How many of you would like to make that kind of money? And this took us about 3 weeks to do at this level of this product. How many of you would like that? You just have to get off your duff and take action with the knowledge you're learning. So this product goes on and continues to sell week after week now on autopilot. On autopilot, the money just comes in, we're done. We did it once. I don't worry about it anymore. It's out there, it's done, money comes in. I'm on to another product. And I do the same thing over and over again. So this right here is an example of another high-end product. This is one of my students, Henry Benito, out of Florida. And Henry bought my system, the Bullseye Marketing Accelerator system, in June. And within a week of buying my course, he said, Deb, I know we haven't started yet on the weekly trainings, but I need your coaching now. I've got an opportunity. I have somebody that wants my knowledge, and I threw out the number of $20,000 to them, and they said they'd pay it, and I don't know what to do now. So I said, great, Henry, let's get on the phone. So we spent about 2 hours on the phone together, and I coached him, and I told him how to set up his consulting and coaching business through a membership program. And as such, I gave him the forms, I gave him the documents, I told him what to say, how to legally structure it, put him in contact with my merchant account, got him set up with a merchant account provider that day. The next day, he presented the opportunity to his new student and took a $20,000 check. $20,000. He made it happen. It was his knowledge. His student wanted to learn how to invest in foreclosures. That's what Henry was doing. And yet he never leveraged his knowledge before. He was just creating wealth in foreclosures. So that is just an example there of taking your information to the next level through coaching and consulting. This is Mark Victor Hansen, one of my dear friends. And Mark had a problem in his company. All he had was his Chicken Soup for the Soul books. Now let me just share a quick story with you. We were at an event in California, and I was helping Mark out with his event, and we had shipped all his product there to this hotel, all of his Chicken Soup for the Soul books. And we're at this hotel, and we're getting ready to go live, and we can't find the product anywhere. We're looking all over. FedEx is telling us it's been delivered, it's there. We're saying, no, it's not. We can't find it anywhere. Yes, all the boxes are there. We searched high and low, could not find it. Guess where we found it? In the kitchen. Chicken soup for the soul. Chicken soup for the soul. No kidding. So if you're ever missing your product, Jamie, search the kitchen. You just never know. In this case, Mark needed a high-end product because he just had the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, and then he only had a couple of smaller cases that were like $197, the Aladdin Factor and such. And so what he did was he asked his list, and he listened to them. What is it that you want? Mark, we want to belong to you. We want to create a community together. We want to follow you to the ends of the earth. We want to do this together. So he found out what they wanted. He calls me and he says, Deborah, here's what they need. How do I execute this? Mark is a visionary. Most of these guys out there are visionaries and they don't know how to execute. That's where I come in behind the scenes as their secret marketing weapon because I know marketing, right? Now you know marketing. So as such, we created this product for him right here. It's called Wealth International Networking Group. And this is his brand. As you can see this right here. The Phoenix Wing is gold. The Phoenix Wing symbolizes new life, new direction, rising from the ashes. Gold is the international color symbolizing wealth, friendship, and new beginnings. Blue. Blue is the eagle wing, which symbolizes power, ability to soar above the rest, and freedom. Blue is the international color symbolizing integrity, constancy, faith, and truth. Together, it symbolizes continuous unity, a synchronicity, a yin and yang look, because he's international. Do you see how this matches him perfectly? People from all over the world, when I would share this from stage and teach this as a case study, people would come up to me and give me a $10,000 check saying they wanted to sign up right then. And it was just a marketing example that I was sharing with them. But here's what happened. Mark was so excited about this product and so excited about what we were doing with his company, he shared it with his business partner, Robert Allen. We were in Florida at an event. They had about 1,500 people in the audience. And Robert says, I love this idea. We're taking it. We're running with it. In front of 1,500 people, they said, we're getting ready to start a membership. How many of you, and this is, just within 5 seconds, this is what we're going to be doing. How many of you would be interested in that? Raise your hand. So people that were interested, raise their hand. They said right there, everybody that raises their hand, those of you that raise your hand, stand up, follow us out. We're going to go into the next room. We're going to talk to you. Brilliant marketing. Why? They just took the bullseye out of the room. And now they've got them sequestered in another place. Everybody's like-minded, right? Do you guys see that marketing strategy? So they go into the next room. They've got about 80 people there in that room. And they pull out a flip chart and they say, tell us what you want. Brilliant marketing strategy. Why? Because they're finding out what they need and they're going to provide the solution. What I just told you. So they write everything down on a flip chart and they say, great. If you're ready to sign up now, it's $20,000. Look at the numbers right there. 21 people signed up in 30 minutes. They made $420,000. 30 minutes. It's marketing. Marketing is where the money is. So here's another example I want to share with you. John Childers. John Childers, who taught the $1 Million Speaker training, all he had in his funnel was just a seminar, a training. He didn't have other ways to take people through his funnel and make more money. So here John says he needed a back-end product. He asked his list and he listened. What people wanted to know was how John could speak from stage and sell at the same time without making it look like he was doing that. He goes, I want a physical product and I want to increase revenue at my trainings. So John asked me to come in and help him. So what we did was we took his Childers chunks. We videotaped him just like you're seeing right here at this event. We videotaped him and we created a product called the Childers chunks. Now look at the packaging here. If you see in the bottom left-hand corner, that is the packaging for the DVD case. And you see just a sliver of John's nose, don't you? Why? Because there's 6 parts to this case. Each part is sold separately because that's how we get people into the funnel, and nobody can stand having just a sliver of John. Psychologically, when they put this up on their bookshelf, they don't want just his nose or his eyes. They want all of John. So as such, we sell the entire product. And everything matches in his branding. Everything is constant. Here's a quick example of John Dessauer, who sat there at the event where I was speaking at for John Childers. And Johnny D says, he saw me there. I created all this branding for John Childers while I was sitting at his event, and John asked me to come run his events for him. And then 2 months later, he asked me to be the CEO of his company. So Johnny D sitting there just like you are, and he says, I see what you're doing there. And he goes, I want what you're doing. He goes, I have a method. I have a way of teaching people, or a way of investing in multi-units. And as such, he goes, I want to teach other people how to do this. I said, great. You know, who are you? I don't know you, but we can do this. And so what we did was we created another income stream for him. He was already making over $1 million in real estate investing for multi-units. He wanted to take his knowledge, package it, so he could teach others. So this is what we created for Johnny D. We created a system for him where he teaches his 8 steps to making millions in multi-units. It's his divide and conquer concept. People have not seen this before. In fact, people from all over the world were talking about him. Donald Trump found out about it. Steve Wynn, who owns practically all of Las Vegas, found out about it and asked John to come in and teach him and his billionaire friends how to do the concept, consulting. So here we created this system, 5,000 plus students worldwide, over 300,000 in product revenues in the first 5 months, and he's built another income stream in the millions. And now he teaches people from all over the world. Results now. So meet the family. I have a couple more people that I want to introduce to you. Come on up. Jenny and Nick, please. I just want to share with you 2 more case studies from my students before I present to you an opportunity to go to the next level with me. This is Jenny Snook. Jenny, come on board.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me with the mic? Yes. I'm Jenny Snook. I started with Deborah earlier this year. One of the really fabulous things that she's helped me to do is we started with a marketing strategy. So we started right from the very beginning, had a look, what did I want to do, how did I want to do it, where did I want to end up. And so we've got to the point now where I've already spoken on a platform with Brett McFall and Armin Morin and Deborah and a number of other names that you probably have heard and some you may not have. That was a webinar. We're working on finalising my book, which is about 90% written. I have created a little ebook that's made out of some articles, so all the way we're learning all these basic strategies as well as ways to create the marketing funnel and get it all happening. We're about to launch with a webinar coming up in December, and then we're having a look at how we might spread that out into a next level program coming up in January for all the New Year's Eve resolutions. Deborah is the real deal. She knows how to look after you. The attention is always very personal. I hadn't actually met her before this weekend. We'd spoken on the phone. We speak on the phone once a week through Skype, and she knows how to make you feel like a real person and how to draw out the best in you and how to take you towards your dreams and goals. So she's just been awesome.
Thank you, Jenny. You have 2. Thank you. Appreciate you. This is Nick County, and he is also with Wealth Alliance, and I'd like you to share a little bit about yourself and what you're doing in information marketing and your success from yesterday.
Hi everyone, my name is Nick and I run a company teaching people neuro-linguistic programming with my brother. Before I met Deborah, I'd been teaching for years and running seminars. The most I ever made was about $1,500 in one day, which at the time I thought was pretty good. After learning about asking our market, we did a pretty comprehensive marketing campaign, found out exactly what people wanted, and the next time we ran our NLP course, we made just under 21 grand in 8 days, which was fantastic. That was after one phone call, one coaching call with Deborah. So I went from $1,500 in a day to 20 grand in 8 days. And just yesterday, we ran a one-day seminar that was for free, and I sold $30,000 worth of NLP training in one day, and that's after 30 minutes on the phone with Deborah.
And it was amazing. Congratulations, Nick. I'm so excited for you. Thank you, sweetie. It was amazing. Stay up here, please, and Pix. You come up, and Sean. It's amazing to see the success yesterday, because here was Nick about a block away from us, and we went and surprised him there at his event, and all the Wealth Alliance students that flew in were walking into his event on top of him right there. And so it was kind of cool to be able to go there and support him. But I have to tell you guys, what was really the coolest point in time for me was when I saw Nick up there talking, and he pulled one of his students up to share a testimonial. And this guy got up and he talked about his transformation and how his life changed as a result of the information that Nick shared with him, his information marketing. And this guy's in tears, and I'm in tears, because this is like my kid. This is my kid out there making a difference, and it's a pay-it-forward system. And I'm thinking, cool, if I can change his life, he's going out and changing that guy's life, that guy's going to go change somebody else. How cool is that? How many of you guys would like to make a difference like that in the world and get paid for it? That's what this is all about. So let me share with you where we're going right here. Your fortune is in your marketing funnel. You now have the knowledge in marketing to take this to the next level, and I want to continue to work with you. You see, your success is my success. As your mentor, I'm going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it, and then we're going to do it. And then what do? It's your product, and you do what? Keep all the money. So as such, look at this opportunity that I'm presenting in a package specifically for you. It's called the Bullseye Marketing Accelerator System. With the Bullseye Marketing Accelerator System, you get live weekly calls with me. I told you I'm not going to let you go. If I don't hear from you, I'm going to hunt you down. And these guys know it. I want to know what's going on. I want to know where you've been, what's happening in your life. If you have babies, I tell you what, everybody in my list lets me know what's going on in their lives to the extent that I know a lot of personal things. But they do the same with me too. If I don't hear from you, I will ask you, I will find out what's happening, because I care. And with this type of training, you get the live weekly trainings with me. You also get virtual access. I'm going to take you step by step through my system, step by step. And step one, I believe in laying the foundation. If you don't plan, you're essentially planning to fail. We've got to lay this foundation with a blueprint for success, so that you know where to go and what to do. From there, we're going to create your business model and go into strategic planning, just like Jenny talked about and what we did for her company and her business. Then from there, we're going to find the target market, your niche. And we're going to find out what their pain is, what their needs are, because in step 4, then, we're going to provide the solution and package that as a product. You're going to have your own product and system. In week 5, then we'll talk about packaging it in a click or a brick. Is it consulting? Is it memberships? How does it need to match that target market? Because it's got to be the perfect message to market match. It's not about you, it's about them. Then in week 6, we talk about bullseye strategies on how to sell that product so that it sells over and over again. In week 7, we kick it up a notch and we talk about then how do we do this again? How do we create the next product and bundle this together? So now we are building your marketing funnel. You don't want to do it just once. You want to do this over and over again, because you do a disservice to your students. All you create is just one book, one product, one seminar. They want more from you. So take it to the next level. Then in step 8, we talk about creating residual income, massive passive cash on a monthly basis through memberships, through affiliate marketing, through resources. This is a complete, full, entire system. It's an 8-week, step-by-step process that we go through on a weekly basis in 4 phases. As such, the value of this, and I don't inflate my prices, this is the real thing, because I believe in presenting you guys with the real numbers. This is what this is actually worth and what we sell this for in the United States and Australia. It's $6,463. You're going to get things delivered virtually, and this is an example of my virtual dashboard. I don't give you physical product. You're going to access everything online. Why? Because the information I put online in your private student download site is real information, it's real time, it's cutting edge strategies, it's called evergreen. I constantly go in there and update that information, and you have more than just lifetime access. I don't give you just lifetime access to this. I'm in there every week adding new tools, new templates, new training materials to continue to keep you on the cutting edge of this ever-changing industry. Is that cool or what? You won't get that in any other type of product. In addition to that, you're going to learn how to make money now through consulting. I'm just starting this product, and I have to tell you, this has been a huge hit, because as I've been coaching students like this, many of them needed money now. I told you there's no magic blue pills out there. But the only way to make money now is taking that time and knowledge that you have and offering it in consulting services. I would coach them in a coaching session, help them set up their business where they could start making money now in consulting. There's only 2 things that people want from you. They want your time or your knowledge. That's called consulting. And you get this entire system as part of the Bullseye package. So I'm going to teach you how to do that through consulting. In addition to that, you're going to get access to my resource blueprint. Why? Because that is my contacts, my network worldwide to help you really succeed. You know, when we were at John Childers speaker training, John, he was smart. He asked everybody in his audience, what is it that you need? What's the next thing that you want? And invariably, people would stand up in the audience, they would point to the back of the room, and they would say, we'd want Deborah's Rolodex. We want access to her contacts. It was that kind of information that they needed, and I know you need that help. So I'm going to put you in touch with those resources and those people to help you. This is your one-stop shop to current information of what is being successfully used now in this industry. In addition to that, I want your success to continue. So after you get done with Bullseye, you're not let go. I told you guys I'm not letting go. I'm going to give you access to my membership. You get weekly training calls where I take you to the next level with continued advanced strategies and marketing. Not only that, you get exposure to an international audience. An international audience. They're your colleagues. They're your Wealth Alliance members and their family. Look at all the support we've had, all the Wealth Alliance members who went to Nick's event and Andrew's event yesterday to support them. That's what this is about. That's why we call our company Wealth Alliance. It's not about one. It's about everyone. And that's what I really believe. You guys know this over and over, don't you? So in addition to that, I believe in your continued success with this knowledge and this support. This is bonus training that you can go in and learn at any point in time to continue to take you to the next level. And it looks just like this. It's called the Membership Site Accelerator. So you know how to bring in that massive passive cash on a monthly basis. You get templates, you get the training, you get the information, you get the marketing knowledge to take you to the next level of memberships. In addition to that, we teach you about WordPress blogs. Why? Because guess what? Companies are not using conventional websites anymore. It's all about blogs. And blogs are not just diaries or journals. Blogs are used because anybody can do it. You don't have to be technical. If I can do it, you guys can do it. Okay? I told you I didn't have a website for 5 years. I don't know all that stuff. I don't know the technology. I know marketing. If you know how to use Microsoft Word, you can do a blog. It's free. But guess what? WordPress blogs give you immediate search engine ranking. You get page ranking. You can get it faster than with the traditional websites. So this is where we take you through that and teach it to you so that you know how to apply it for your business. In addition to that, we're going to teach you about seminars and how you can do your own trainings or speak for other people, just as Jenny was mentioning, or as Pick did with her own event. That's something that you can do. So this is all about creating additional streams of revenue in your business to build your information marketing empire. Finally, let me just back up a second here. You get access to me. I told you guys that I'm here to tell you, show you, and do it with you. I believe in walking with you hand in hand. We're going to have a private coaching session where I'm going to spend time with you because I can personalize this with you. I can customize a plan just for you. And then after that, you're going to get access to one of my coaching counsel strategists who will continue to take you to the next level and work with you through this system as you're going through Bullseye. You still don't lose touch with me. You have access to me by the weekly training calls, any of the member calls, any email. I answer all my emails. You still have and maintain access with me, and we're there to support you. So you get all of this, plus this is right here is what I do with you on the phone. I will create a mind map to show you how to take your business and map it out to the next level. This is Joel, and Joel is out of Atlanta. And Joel right here has a business where he's a dentist, and he's going to take the marketing knowledge that he learned to grow his dental practice. And then after that, he's going to teach other dentists how to have a successful business like he has. It's information. So this is a mind map that we planned out for him in less than an hour. Now he knows exactly what his blueprint is and what he needs to do. You're also going to get your own product. You see, I'm not going to let you sit on your duff. I'm going to make you take action. So as such, you get your own product. This is a product that you're going to record. You get it transcribed. It's going to be your product, and you can sell it over and over again. We'll master the audios. We'll make it professional for you, but it's your product. In addition, for the first 20 people that take action, because I want you to meet with us, I want you to do what we're doing. Has this been successful for you guys? If it's been successful for them, it's successful for you. And I want you guys to join us. For the first 20 people who want to do this, I'm going to create a joint venture product with you. That means together, you and I are marketing a product with both of our names on it. It's your product. You have instant credibility. You have instant product. You have instant access to my list. And we do this together. It's for any of you who want to stand up and right now and take advantage of this opportunity. So we both market it. We both make money 50-50. This is a joint venture opportunity for you. So this is your $1 million information marketing enterprise. This is the Bullseye Marketing Accelerator Package. Again, it's a Bullseye Marketing Accelerator system, plus the Ultimate Consulting Accelerator system, plus all of these bonuses, the $1 million resource, the membership site, the actual membership site accelerator, the blog accelerator, the seminar accelerator, plus you get your free product, you get coaching with me, and you get the opportunity to do a joint venture. For the first 20 people, you get to come into my system. Now this is valued in real dollars in real time because I told you I don't mess around with you guys. I share the real information. You're going to get all of this right here for one payment of $4,497. But if you need to spread that out into 3 payments, then we have created a payment plan for you of 3 payments of only $1,697. 3 monthly payments of only $1,697. So with that, I welcome you on board with Wealth Alliance. We'd like to welcome you into the family. It's been my pleasure to speak to all of you today. I'm Deborah Thompson-Radel, and I look forward to seeing you in the back of the room. Thank you, everybody.